Hey guys, in this video we're going to be looking at how we can prepare or what should we do in order to prepare for a dry fast or fasting in general, as it seems that most of the advice and the preparations that I've seen are similar in many sources. So let's begin. My first advice to you would be to consider where and how you're going to do the regime. Now, it's important to look at the environment that we're going to do it in, because it's going to affect us on a daily basis, and the interactions that we have with the environment are going to have an influence on how the fasting goes. So it's advisable that you look into where you're going to do it, if you're going to do it if you're going to continue working while you're doing it, or you're going to do it or at home or some other place, however you prefer. You may want to go on a vacation at home, take some days off, or however you decide. This is up to you, you can decide. My advice on the decision would be to look up what your environment is. How does it look? Is it helpful to you? Does it bring out the best in you? And does it provoke development in you? If it does, then 100% stay in that environment and look for new ways to develop and while you're doing the dry fasting period. Why am I saying this? Because fasting might be a practice that has survived thousands of years, but a lot of people still don't know it or don't accept it as something usual. I've actually looked up Twitter and it looks terrible. It feels like everybody is against fasting there, but I haven't really spent that much time. But the feedback that I've seen is terrible, and you might find people like that as well. I found once during my fast, a friend has found other people during his fast, and they mostly made fun of us or rejected the idea that this is healthy. It doesn't really look healthy. Sometimes you may look like you have that or sound like you're dying, like you're 90 years old, but it still has positive results. And since they don't experience those results, most people are prone to actually work with what they're seeing instead of try it and see what it is for themselves. This is why if you think that the environment that you're currently in isn't helpful or beneficial to your development during that time, I would advise you to change the environment and change the conditions that you're going to be living under. As well, the best environment would be somewhere that people are helpful and inspire you to do some more, experience something new, and etc., coming out of your comfort zone. The next advice I would give you is to think about what time of the year you're going to do it, or time of the month. Now, time of the year, I mean which season, because as it seems the summer might be too hard. It was too hard for me. That's why I quit it on the 5th day. You can see the video, I've already uploaded it in the channel. And the problem was that during the times of 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. it became really hard for me to focus. It was very hot, and in the office I decided to continue going to work. In the office it was really stuffy, so everything was okay, but it was harder and it's not really comfortable. Also, I was just sitting on my chair, which means that I was practically degrading. That's how I experienced it. It seems that the best seasons for fasting are fall and spring. The winter can also be beneficial if the temperatures are okay, but again, it's your decision. You can see when you can do something, and you're the best person that can know what your abilities are. The other time that it matters is what time of the month you do it. What I've seen in a couple of sources is that the moon phases do matter, so do it before or during a full moon. That's the advice. It looks like we're more balanced that way. I don't really understand astrology on that level to tell you, but that's the information that I found on the internet, and I trust the sources that I've seen it in. The next important advice that I would like to give you for preparing for the regime is to have an idea of what you want to accomplish. What are the things that you want to change? What are the things that you want to learn? What are the things that you would like to experience during that period? It has been known for the fasting period to bring up a better sense of spirituality in a person. So you might focus on that. You might focus on something new. You might focus on new ideas that you would like to develop, something that you haven't had the time for, or something that is impossible until that time, because you are probably going to find a solution or an idea at least of what you can do during that time. That's why I'm advising you to get an idea and focus on it during the fasting period, so that you can actually develop it, and you might actually see the results and receive new ideas during the first day. But I would still advise you to continue pushing forward so that you can see what else you can develop. The good part is that your focus during the fasting regime becomes great. It becomes phenomenal, and you're going to be able to develop more new and complex ideas during that period, as well as continue being focused on them all, and also remember what they were if you so wish to do. This is why I would advise you to think of an idea of what you want to do. Also, it's your choice to make the fasting regime, so my advice would be to do it in the best way that you can imagine how. That doesn't mean staying in our comfort zone. It does actually mean to come out of our comfort zone and look for new things to do, because this is what's going to prove as a new development, and we're more capable of seeing that everything is easier to do while we're on a fasting period. This is because our bodies as well as our brain doesn't deal with the usual problems that we think about during the day, or we feel during the day. So there's a huge probability that we're going to focus on something more expansive. Now, many of you might be wondering how long you should do the fasting period for. For me, I've only done water and dry fasting. I'm going to give you advice for those two. For the other two, I would advise you to look into other sources. There are many different fasting regimes, as I've seen throughout the internet, so you can choose any one, but these two are my favorite, specifically the dry fasting, because it's the hardest and the one that provides more results for less time, which is why I'm doing it, because it's faster. Now, for the water regime, it's advisable to start maybe with 8 days. Everybody can do it. I think it's easy enough for 8 days. From there, you can do it 31, 21, 35. You can even do it for 3 months. I know a person that has done it. Of course, she was eating the vegetables, fruits, all sorts of stuff, right? No soup. It's just no soups, no liquids. That's it. That's what the water fasting is. And for the dry fasting, however you choose to feel okay. Some people, I think, that have a mindset that will provoke some anger or make them anxious, which is why I would advise you to decide for yourself. You can start with 1 day, you can start with 2 days, you can start with however much you want. I started with 5 days. That's what I thought was okay, and I went through it. Now, it wasn't the one that I uploaded, it was a few years ago, and it was okay. You can also do 8 days, you can also do 10 days. I know of a person that's done 11 days with some variations during the fasting regime, but everything is possible. You can decide for yourself. You're the person that knows your body the best, so you can decide for yourself what is the best way to do it. My advice is, if you decide to do a couple of days, like 3, and you feel that everything is okay and that you can do more, do more. I know that you're going to see better results than you were expecting, so I would advise you to trust me on that and continue forward. Of course, you can quit the regime at any time you decide, but it's always your choice. I'm not going to push you in any direction. I'm just giving you my point of view on this subject. Something else that I would advise you, and I think that's very important to do, is your behavior. Set up a mindset that is going to help you develop more ideas and open up to everything that you don't know or haven't understood until now. It's going to help you experience the regime in a better way, and as well, after you pass after the regime and start feeding yourself, you're going to see fantastic results. That's what happened to me. That's why I'm sharing it like that to you. The mindset is everything. If you're going to focus on the facts of how bad of an idea is, how doesn't work, how dangerous this is, those are the themes that you're going to experience. And this is kind of connected with the idea of having an idea of what you want to experience during that regime. That's why, but I still want to give you this advice to experience it and go through the regime in the best mindset that you are capable of doing, as well as you can develop it during the regime. You can see the good things that are happening, how it's working out for you, and what's happening around you. I'm sure that you're going to become more aware of the things around you, which is usually what inspires us, so maybe focus on that. It's your choice, really. Something else that I would advise you is to be active during the regime. We learn most of the things the best way when we're acting on something, when we're doing something, when we're practicing something. That's why we have the phrase practice makes perfect, because it actually teaches us what we need to do and where our failures are, where we have to focus, what we need to improve. So see if you can be active and do things that are going to provoke you into a new mindset. Now there is the opposite version, where it's actually better for you to remain an observer, because sometimes the things that we do, we invoke our old filters and logic, the way that we know that it works, and it's kind of hindering our development. This is why it might be better for you to stay as a viewer, as an observer of the world around you, so that you can see how the things can happen in a new and better way, or how it can differ, how you can expand on the ideas that you already have. But generally what I've experienced is that I can see how different things are than what I think of them, and how they can become better. So that's usually what happens with me. For me, it's somewhere between the first and the third day, after which I should become active if I am capable of. That's kind of how it works for me, but you'll see how it works for you as well. You can even make a note so that you can know for the next time when you make a regime, so that you can be prepared in advance. Now, this is everything I can think of. Do you think these advices are useful? Do you think they can help you? If you do, like and share the video so that we can help more people together. If you like to see how this channel continues to develop, we're going to focus on more fasting videos and ideas, so you can subscribe to the video and also click on the bell so that you can receive a notification when a video is being uploaded on the channel. This is it for now. Bye bye.